Everyone tells you that you need to have a niche in order to grow on YouTube. Pick a topic, stay consistent, and never pivot from that strategy. Those are the 3 golden rules to follow in order to gain success and grow on YouTube. But what if it was your lack of a niche that was the main reason that you don't post? In this video, I want to talk to you about how you can find your niche organically by actually adopting a strategy that is, to begin with at least, niche-less. Like many of you, I have fallen into the trap of what I'm terming is the niche paralysis. What is the niche paralysis, I hear you ask? Well, it's basically when your lack of niche is the thing that holds you back and stops you from creating. The reason that it stops you from creating? Because we hear so many times from so many successful creators that actually the shortcut to success is by adopting and embracing one specific niche and just consistently creating around that. For a bit of background context, I've worked in digital marketing or social media management for about 6 years. I currently work for an agency in East London, but before I arrived here, I was working in-house, particularly in the heritage and charity sectors within the UK. As part of my professional development and experiences to date, unsurprisingly, I've become very accustomed to the tactics that we use as marketers to grow brand channels. And unsurprisingly, these tactics aren't particularly nuanced. Pick a niche, create content in that niche repeatedly and consistently, and invariably you will eventually achieve some form of market penetration within your target audience. Now, this is all very well and good, but the problem I've always had is that I've never been able to translate the success that I've been able to achieve on brand accounts into my own personal life. Now, that isn't to say that I'm somebody that's really particularly been after viral views and engagements, brand deals, affiliate deals. The life of an influencer doesn't particularly appeal to me. But what has and what does appeal to me is actually this idea of talking about ideas, communicating my thoughts, and just connecting with people about a topic that I am, rather nerdedly, quite inherently interested in. Now, I've never been able to successfully build any form of personal brand because I've been almost so well versed in the rules of engagement, or so focused on finding my niche and adding value to the conversation in a way that nobody else is doing, that in effect has stopped me from creating. But as I outlined in the very first video that I posted to this channel, I sort of have decided that I'm just going to create videos now, regardless of whether I think it's really adding to a conversation in a certain niche or not. So actually now the only focus really for me is to make videos that I enjoy making, to just sit down and talk and get into the routine of just creating content. The hope is that my niche will organically develop and will discover me rather than me proactively going out to create around a specific niche. So I guess the challenge that I'm currently embarking on is just creating a body of videos. It could be 10, it could be 20, it could be 50. The number really doesn't matter, but just creating videos, getting into the routine and the habit and becoming more comfortable talking on camera. And then once those videos have been published, then I can sit down and I can look at the data and I can see A, what performed, but B, I can also say, actually, I really enjoyed talking about this topic, whereas I didn't enjoy talking about that topic. So this is my 6th video that I will be posting to my channel. So I am still very early days in my YouTube creator experience. But even after the 5 videos that I have already published, there is clear data to show that one of them has outperformed all the others. So my video about the awkwardness of talking to camera has got 180 views, not a lot in YouTube terms, but for my small channel, it's an outlier. The easiest thing for me to do at this point is for me to decide that I should just use that as the signal and niche down on becoming the guy that talks about talking to camera. And that would, in fairness, be one approach I could take because, let's face it, there are plenty of YouTube channels out there that do a very good job of telling that narrative. And I could easily find a way to package it up that made it more authentic to me. But the reason I'm not doing that is twofold. One, I still think it's a bit early for me to really say that that is the niche that I want to follow. And secondly, I think I'd probably become a bit of a charlatan if that was my only sort of like shtick. Whilst I can talk to camera, I am far from being an expert on talking to camera. I don't really have the background or the sort of theoretical frameworks at the top of my mind from any great intellectual position. The only way that I could potentially make the whole talking to camera piece part of my niche would be if actually I just acknowledged that I'm not an expert and then I just documented the journey of becoming more of an expert. So providing advice or self-reflection as I was getting better myself. But I guess like the point that I'm trying to make here is if you are, like me, trying to build something, try to build your own voice and carve out your own niche that is really around who you are and the values that you represent, then actually you are the niche and what you create content about sort of becomes secondary because you are the niche, you are the expert, you are the thing that people are tuning in for. It actually gives you a little bit of creative freedom and flexibility to experiment and to create videos that aren't necessarily all in one specific lane. So I think, this is just basically a journey. And if we're all being honest, we're all sort of just trying to figure it out as we go along. The only real difference is that actually I'm sitting here talking to you or talking to the camera, recording my thoughts and documenting the journey of trying to figure something out. But the main takeaway message for me is actually this isn't an exercise in trying to be perfect. It's an exercise in embracing the sense of not being perfect and actually just being incredibly messy and incredibly imperfect and experimenting, being creative, doing things that you enjoy creatively, not things that you think will perform to either appease the algorithm gods or because you feel that you need to have a niche in order to find some form of success, whatever that metric of success looks like for you. So that is how I am trying my best to find a niche on YouTube without actually having a niche to begin with. If you've enjoyed this video, that would be great. Give it a subscribe, give it a like, drop me a comment if any of this resonates with you, or indeed if you disagree with it, be interested to hear your thoughts. Anyway, look forward to catching you all next upload.